Okay, session is recording. So, thank you very much for coming on to this race briefing, guys. And thanks for your efforts so far. I think we've got 30 people out of 120. So, well done, you. Brilliant. My name is Martin Rendell. If you've not met me before, I'm the owner and race director of the Paddle Skedaddle here in Norfolk. I'd just like to say a very massive welcome, actually, because most of you guys are from the UK, but also on this call, we've got my friend Carlo Arias, who's calling from Costa Rica, and he's flying all the way from Costa Rica to do the race. So hopefully you guys will all get to meet Carlo on the day. He's a right little whippersnapper, a little bit quick. Charlie Wag, watch out. That's all I can say. But anyways, we will crack on. So this is the 4th edition of the Paddle Skedaddle. It's a great race here on the Norfolk Broads. If you've never paddled the Norfolk Broads, then it really does encompass all the best bits, I think. It takes in all the variations of the Norfolk Broads. So I just will say at this point, guys, I'm going to talk for a bit. You're going to listen, and then right at the end, I'm going to open up all the mics, and we can have a right old chat to the end of the session, which I do not want to be more than 1 hour, because that's probably not fair on you guys. So if we can rattle through my bit, then it gives a chance for everybody else to answer questions, and we'll do that on a hands-up basis at the end of my chat. So, right, so the Norfolk Broads, it's 260 kilometres of inland waterways. It is a tidal waterway, and people always forget the reason that people come on sailing holidays and it's full of windmills is that because it likes wind, okay? There's always a bit of wind on the Norfolk Broads. So between now and 2 weeks' time, if you get the opportunity to go out in a 40-mile-an-hour gale, I'd strongly suggest it, okay? Just give you a quick rundown as to how we're going to operate the day and how what the rules are. There's a couple of strict rules that are coming in this year. We've had to do that. We've had 4 years. 3 years to try and get it right. This is the 4th year. We're going to absolutely nail it this year and try and get it all without incident. So that's not a medical incident. That's just a couple of bits and pieces that didn't go to plan last year. So. Right, first and foremost, the date is the 11th of Saturday, the 11th of May. If you haven't got that date in your diary, please put it in now. Saturday, the 11th of May is the date of the race. Registration for that is going to be at Ferrygate Camping, which is our HQ for the event. Obviously, all of the details you ought to have already, but you will get another email from me with the details of arrival or where to arrive. Okay, so if I just go through the event schedule for the day, actually just backtracking, you can register on the Friday as well. So registration will be starting on the Friday the 10th at Ferrygate Camping. And I believe registration times, I've got this in my documents here, Friday the 10th of May, Ferrygate Camping, 6 o'clock in the evening until 9 o'clock. And then Saturday morning, 6 a.m. until 7 a.m. Okay. Now, I will stress at this point, failure to register between those 2 times on those 2 dates will result in a DNS. We will not be accepting any registrations after those times. Okay, so if you've not registered by 7 o'clock on the Saturday morning, I'm very sorry, but that will be put down as a DNS. Okay, we can't hold anything back. Sadly, we are under strict instruction by the Broads Authority to be on the water by a certain time. And if we have to wait for any stragglers, that will delay us. So obviously, please remember, this is your responsibility to get registered in the correct time and in good time. Okay, so registration is on those 2 dates. On Saturday, the 11th of May itself, Event marshals will be on duty from 8 o'clock in the morning, probably a little bit earlier up at the start point because they will be looking after your equipment. More on that in a minute. 8:45, we will have a race safety briefing at Sutton Staithe. So 8:45 in the morning, safety briefing. And then we have the fleets going off. So 9:30 in the morning, it's going to be all 12'6" men and women across inflatable and hardboard. So I'll just let you know what I've done on this is that I've obviously tried to combine as many fleets together to give adequate numbers, but not too many. Okay, so it's fair that there is a certain amount of men, ladies in inflatable and hardboards on 12'6". It's okay for them all to go at the same time. So obviously you're all in different categories, so that will award you positions in your own categories, but we are going to set these fleets off at the same time. So it has no effect on your overall standing within your category. It's absolutely fine, so don't worry about that. So that's at 9:30, and then every 5 minutes they're on. So 9:35, we have 14-foot inflatable female. 9:40, 14-foot inflatable male. 9:45, 14-foot hardboard female. 9:50, 40-foot, I wish, 14-foot hardboard men. 9:55, we have tandem paddleboard and all sit-down paddle craft because we have a contingency of OC1, kayak, surf ski, and a couple of stand-up paddle tandems. So they will all be going at the back because they are viewed to be some of the quickest craft, but we'll see. Then we're expecting the first finishes to come back within around about 3 to 3 hours 15. Then we're going to start 12:30. There will be post-race massage available, so you can book in with the massage team. You can book in with the massage team on site back at the finish HQ and get yourself a well-deserved massage. 14:30 to 1700, so 2:30 until 5 o'clock. The Broadside Pizza Van is coming down, as they did in the last few years. So it gives you the opportunity to get your pizza sorted because everybody needs a good pizza. Around 1, I've got this around the wrong way, but around 1:30, the bar will open. I mean, obviously, this is the Paddle Skedaddle, and we do get kind of drunk by the end of the night. So you can start at 1:30 if you're back soon enough. Bob and his mobile bar will be there as per last year, and that will go on till probably about midnight, or until, you know, the last person is standing. 3:30, we've got prize giving. So we're going to do prize giving at 3:30 or thereabouts. And events close at midnight. So we're hoping that's okay. A good little rundown. Obviously, we don't want to slip, but we may have to slip. But we will try our utmost not to slip. Right. As I said, any questions at the end? There's just people still arriving, but we are now in session. So, okay, mandatory equipment for you on your craft of choice. All paddlers must have this is all stand-up paddlers. All stand-up paddlers must have a leash. Quick release belts or personal flotation devices for stand-up paddlers are optional. Okay, but you must have a coiled leash. Okay, we don't care if that is around your ankle, on your waist belt, or, you know, on a quick release well belt, or around your ankle, but you must have a coiled leash if you are a stand-up paddler. Quick release waist belts and full PFDs or inflatable PFDs, they're all optional, but absolutely leashes. All other sit-down craft, it's going to be PFD, okay, essential, mandatory. And if you are a prone paddler, we do insist on a leash this time. The Broads Authority have insisted on a leash, so all prone paddlers must be leashed to their boards also. Right, a little bit more on equipment. Obviously, it's good to layer up. It is still May. We've had great weather in the past, really hot weather. We've had absolutely crappy weather. It is still May. The water is still, you know, reasonably chilly. Even though if it's a nice day outside and it could be 20 degrees outside, the water is still going to be around about 10 to 12 degrees at the absolute most. So please layer up. You can always take layers off, okay? And you can always put them back on if you're too hot or cold. Recommended is a wind or waterproof outer layer. If it's windy, like I said, it can get super windy here on the Broads. I tend to wear, if it's windy, just a nice little thin running jacket or a body, you know, like a gilet or something. That really helps keep the wind off. Sunscreen and visors. Okay, if it's a sunny day, visors are great, but they don't stop any reflection off the water. So sunscreen, obviously essential. I have to obviously let you know that. I know you know that, but I have to let you know that. Hydration. Okay, like I said, the winner last year, Mark Salter, did it in 2 hours 52, and for the ladies, Nat Rendell did it in 3 hours 16. So that is the quickest times that anybody's going to be on the water. So you are out there for probably more than 3 hours. Okay, so hydration, food, sports nutrition, sandwiches, we don't care what it is, whatever your preferred choice of hydration and food is, please take it all with you. There is no place, there are no you know, stop off points where you can where food will be available unless you stop at one of the pubs on the way. Okay, so everything is to be carried with you. Also, please pre-fill your hydration packs as well, because at Ferrygate camping there is limited water. There is water, but it's an off-grid campsite, and if it runs out, it runs out. Okay, so please make it your responsibility to bring water for your own hydration packs. That'd be great. Anything on your feet? I tend not to. But if you do need to get off the water and walk somewhere, you're going to need something on your feet. Okay, so consider that as an option. The Broads, if you've never been to the Broads before, it's mainly reed beds. So you may need to, you know, get to an access point. The access point may not be smooth underfoot. So, you know, if you want to take some shoes, even if you chuck them, you know, on your board under some budgies in the bungees or in a bag or something, you know, I'd recommend you take shoes with you just in case, but that is absolutely your shout. Waterproof pouch or some kind of bag, dry bag, because you will need to be taking a mobile phone with you. So that is going to be mandatory as well, that every paddler needs to have a mobile phone with the race director's number in it. And also the assistant race director. So these numbers are available for you. I do actually have a race pack here, which will be sent to you all via email at the end of this call. We've talked about food, all that kind of stuff. So there we go. All right, I'm now going to go on to event rules, okay? So first and foremost, I need to check, because I've got a feeling, I've just got a sneaky suspicion that there are people out there on boards, stand-up paddle boards, that are going to be under 12'6" in length, okay? There is a minimum requirement for this paddle skedaddle. It does state that when you enter, and it says 12'6" minimum length, okay? So I don't want anybody to raise this on the call tonight, but if you are listening into this and you are planning on doing the skedaddle on a board less than 12'6", please email me, okay, at team@supracing.co.uk, okay? I just want to get a gauge, A, if there are any, and B, how many, because then I need to do something about that, okay? So if you have got a board and you've misunderstood the entry requirement and it is under 12'6", please email me and we will get something sorted, okay? Right, so that is one event rule. Okay, failure to wear any mandatory safety equipment will result in you not being allowed to participate in the event or risk disqualification. I think that's fair, all right? There's a minimum level. If you can't do that, then, you know, no mandatory kit, no water, simple as that. So please adhere to that one. We've talked about leashes and quick releases for canoe, kayak, stand-up paddle. We all know that one. All paddlers are to adhere to the river right navigation. Okay. The Broads Authority are very, very hot on this. This is the Norfolk Broads. It's quite often got 20, 40-foot cruisers cruising up and down. They don't know how to drive these things. There's a steering wheel at the front, the engine's at the back, it steers from the back. They've been shown where the TV and the kettle is, all right? They don't know how to drive these boats, all right? So if you do your bit by saying from the center of the river to the right, you'll have done your bit, okay? There will be a time penalty for anyone caught paddling on the left-hand side of the river for an extended period of time, okay? It's not something I like to do, and in the 3 years we've run this so far, I've only had to issue one penalty. Sadly, I didn't enjoy doing that last year, but I had to give a 10-minute penalty because somebody actually paddled over 5 kilometers on the wrong side of the river because it was windy and they were trying to keep out the wind. So that was raised at the end. We had to make a decision. They were docked 10 minutes, put them from 4th place to 12th. All right. So the rule is river right from the center of the river to the right. That's your line. So if the river is twisting and turning, you cannot take the racing line. You have to go along the middle or to the right. I can't emphasize that enough. And if we get complaints and it's backed up by more than 1 or 2 people, then we have to do something about it. Okay. Right. Music. No music whatsoever is allowed during the race. Okay. So this is headphones. This also includes bone conductor headphones. It includes speakers, anything to do with playing music that if any music whatsoever enters your ears by any method whatsoever, unless it's the person next to you singing, all right, not allowed. Disqualification, not allowed. Okay. This is a health and safety. It's on the risk assessment. Okay. Just let one more in here. It's on the risk assessment. It's something the Broads Authority were really heavy on. And a lot of people have said, you know, came up to me last year and said, but bone conductors, the bone conductors, they're not blocking your ears. No, they're not blocking your ears. But what they are doing is your brain is listening to the music. It's not paying attention to what's going on around you. Okay. And I did state there's a lot of boats out there and people don't know what they're doing. Okay. So from a safety perspective, enjoy the sound of the water, enjoy the sound of nature, have a chit chat with somebody else that you're hopefully overtaking. Okay. And just enjoy the surroundings. All right. So absolutely no music at all. Okay. Unsportsmanlike behavior, be it to another paddler, be it to a boat user, be it to a marshal, certainly myself. Okay. Because I might actually be racing at this point. I'm not sure yet. But any paddler found to be behaving in an unsporting way will be spoken to, and if it's really bad, there is a disqualification element as well. So, you know, what I have said, if there's something that happens on the water with another paddler and you don't like it, then you have the right to raise an action within 15 minutes of finishing your race. Okay. So if something happens that you don't like, somebody's, you know, come along, punched you in the face, you know, slapped you with a wet kipper, put you off your stroke, then raise an objection within 15 minutes of you finishing, and that will be dealt with. Okay. You would raise that to the race director or certainly the timekeeper, Matthew, who will be standing at the riverside. Okay. He will note any objections or any queries raised. Okay. But that's a 15-minute window you have to do that. If it's after 15 minutes, null and void. Okay. At the time, do it, or there's nothing to talk about. Okay. Right. Okay. This is a weird one, but I have had a few inquiries. Can you take dogs on your paddleboard? I'm sure you can, just not in this race. Okay. No doggies allowed. It would be nice, but it's just a big fat no. Okay, it's just dangerous if they fall off, blah blah blah, and it is a race. Okay, I know it's a weird one, but I'm sorry. No, no doggies, I'm afraid, or cats. Definitely no cats. Right. If you spot a paddler in distress, okay, please, please, please stop and help them. Okay. The Norfolk Broads is quite vast, all right, and there are very few access points to the water between certain sections. And if somebody comes into peril in one of those sections, okay, they just need somebody to help them. All right. So you can, if they're in real danger, then you can pick up the phone. The phones work absolutely fine. Certainly if you're on EE, they work exceptionally well, full 5G in the middle of Norfolk Broads, okay? And you can phone straight through to race director and we will organize some kind of evacuation. If it's just somebody who's, you know, feeling a bit tired, then obviously you can talk to them, make sure they're okay. If they can't get on their board from a fall, give them some assistance to get back on the board. You know, just help somebody out. And please tell us that you had to do this, because obviously we can make adjustments to your finish time, okay, for help, or certainly we'll buy you a pint at the end of it. Nice. So please help people who are having a bad time on the water if they need it. Sarah just joined. Hi, Sarah. If you do need to notify a marshal, there are checkpoints on the way with marshals on them. So you will take that person in distress's name, number, and please tell the next marshal that you come to. All right, tell that marshal, and we will obviously arrange to do something around that. We've touched on mobile phones. You must carry a mobile phone. Bib numbers are to be worn on your left leg or on the left side of your craft. That is because when you finish, you'll actually be finishing with the timing, with Matthew doing the timing, and he wants to be able to see your number. So it's left-hand side of your craft or left-hand side of your leg. Probably stand-up paddlers, it's going to be the leg. Any canoe, OC, prones, probably going to be the left-hand side of the board. Okay, that's that one. Okay, we've touched on challenges. Okay, big news, guys, for the Paddle Skedaddle. First time ever, Paddle Skedaddle 2024 is going to be 100% draft legal. Okay. You're all on mute, but I can hear the whoops of joy already. So, draft legal, guys. First time we've ever done it. Okay, we've never done it in the past before because not enough people have known how to draft. All right, I like this. I like all of these little emojis coming up. Nice. Nobody's really known how to do it. Nobody's been taught how to do it. So for the first time, I think now there's plenty of education out there. And if you did go to progress on to any other race, pretty much any other race in the UK, or you certainly went to Europe, you need to be able to draft because they're all draft legal. All right. So draft legal, I will put the caveat in there. It is within your fleet and within your gender. Okay. So if you're on a 12'6" board, you cannot draft a 14-foot board. All right. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some kind of tape on the back of the board. So different colored tape across the back of your craft will denote what fleet you're in. So if you're on, for example, if you're in 14-foot men, you'll have a pink piece of tape on the back. If you're on 14-foot women, you'll have a blue piece of tape on the back because, you know, it's not all pink and blue for boys and girls, is it? We can mix it up a little bit. So that's how that's going to work. So I hope that makes a few people happy. If I'm racing and I find you drafting me, I won't. But anyway, that's another thing. Right. Challenges we've discussed. That's fine. Registration, just going to whip back to registration. We've touched on timings. You are not allowed to register somebody who isn't there. Okay, you can only register yourself, and you can't say, oh, you know, my mate Bob's coming. He's going to be here about 8 o'clock, but I'm just going to register for him. No, not at all. If Bob misses it, 9 o'clock, he can register the next morning. Okay, so you have to register yourself. And I will need to see, or whoever's doing the checking on the day for registration will need to see your Paddle UK, or should we call it British canoeing, or whatever you want to call them these days. But you please bring evidence of your license. If it's on your phone, fine. If it's on a card, fine. But just bring evidence of that and flash it, because it's we've said to the Broads Authority, it's our responsibility to do that for them. It's just one of those things that kind of keeps them happy. So it obviously gives you your insurance, your third-party liability insurance. Even though we have got our own insurance, it just it gives you your license to be on the water and your own insurance as well. If I talk about facilities, at Ferrygate Camping, there are toilets, showers, and there is a coffee shack there. There are toilets, hot drinks at Sutton Staithe Hotel, which is the start location. The Thurn Mill, which is the halfway point, there is public toilets at the end of the boat dike, and there are also public toilets further upriver at Potter Heigham. So hopefully, you know, generally I just, you know, pee in me pants, but if you do need to get off the water and you do need to really go, there are some options there for you. Okay. Parking. If you are staying at Ferrygate Camping, obviously you will have your vehicle there. If you are a day visitor, i.e. you're not staying at Ferrygate Camping, then you can camp at Ferrygate for the day. Should that become problematic in terms of that we run out of space, then there is an alternative car park about a 10-minute walk away from Ferrygate at Martham Boatyard. And I have got information for that on the race pack, which will be sent out to you. There's a map. It is chargeable, I'm afraid, but it's not a lot. So if it really becomes a problem, you can go to 10 minutes walk away from Ferrygate. Right. There's also parking at the start of the race, which is Sutton Staithe Hotel. There is hard standing car parking to the side of the hotel. And then there's a smaller public car park to the left as you enter the site of the Staithe. All I'd say on here, it is free parking, but please look for any parking restrictions that may have been put in place since I was last there. They've never had any before, ever, but I don't trust everyone all the time. So please have a look at that and just obviously adhere to that. I don't know if Sutton Staithe Hotel has still got rooms, but obviously that's a really good place to stay, because you're right on the start line. It's a bit of a rubbish place to stay because obviously it's not the finish. But never mind, great place there as well. I'm now just going to touch on transportation between start and finish, because I know I get this every year. What do I do with my car, boat, person, bag, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay, this is how it works. You come to register or park, depending on when you've registered, at Ferrygate Camping. So you park at the finish. Okay, you park at the finish. Sorry, I'll just recap on that. First and foremost, rewind. Get your craft, whatever craft you're paddling, up to the start location at Sutton Staithe. So first thing to do is drive up to Sutton Staithe, and you leave your craft there on the morning of the race. If you leave it there on the night before, it might not be there in the morning, but leave it there on the morning of the race. There will be a marshal to look after your craft. Okay, you leave it on the grass outside of the hotel. Then you come back to Ferrygate. You drive back to Ferrygate, and that's where you park your car. You then will take the coach. We have a coach for you. Obviously, this is all included in your entry to the race, so there's no additional scary fees. The coach will then take you back up to the start. So you can leave your craft up there, and then you can come back to the start, do whatever it is you need to do, and then you can get the coach with your paddle, with your bag, and then you can just go up to the start, and you're ready to paddle all the way back. Okay. What I will say is that the coaches will probably be limited to about 2 shuttles. Okay. So everybody needs to be there for race briefing anyway. It's going to be hectic as hell. It's always hectic on race morning. So please try and be timely with yourself. Get your craft up there super early. Get back. if you do need that coach shuttle. There's probably, I think it's an 80-seater coach, so a couple of journeys, that's plenty of people. There's plenty of space. And you can take your paddle on that. You don't need to leave your paddle up there if you don't want to. Just leave your craft at the start. Come back to Ferrygate, park up, do whatever, jump on a coach, get back up to the start. That's how it's going to work, and then paddle all the way back. What I will say at this point is that if you have assistance or you have the help of a friend that you're traveling with, or you can double up or buddy up with somebody, then please do that. And then you've got 2 cars to play with, and you can play shuttles yourself, okay, between your, or if you've got somebody that can drive you up, drop you off, and then wait up there, you don't need to come back to Ferrygate if you've already registered. So if you've got assistance or a friend, or you want to double up or whatever, that's great, because then it just leaves more space on the coach for other people who don't have that facility. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, but that's how that works. We've talked about the safety briefing that will start at 8:45 at Sutton Staithe. And then we're just going to go on to the magic wonders of the cutoff. Everybody knows there's a cutoff. I'll be honest with you, the reason that I put in the cutoff 4 years ago was because this is a race, all right? It's a race. It's not a jolly. It's not a challenge. It's a race, okay? And as entries went live on the 1st of November, I think that's plenty of time to train for a race in May. So if you've not been able to train, still come anyway, because you'll have a laugh. But just realise it is a race, and there is a finishing time that you have to do the course in. I think it's incredibly generous, this finishing time. The finishing time to do the 26.5-kilometre course is 5 hours, all right? Now, given that the winner did it in 2 hours 52, and I believe last year, everybody made the cutoff last year. I believe everybody made it. So, look, if it's excessively windy on the day and there's a massive headwind, for most of it, I will be lenient to that cutoff, okay? So it's the whole idea was just to cut the people who think they're going to come along on a board, stop halfway, have a picnic, take some pictures, and then wander their way down the Broads. No, this is an endurance sprint. It's 26.5 kilometers of as fast as you can go. Bang, get it out, done, have a beer. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so the average speed you will need to attain to do the course in 5 hours is 3.3 miles per hour or 5.3 kilometers per hour. Okay, so 3.3 miles an hour is pretty achievable by most, I believe, if you've trained. So now, if you fail, if obviously there's no adverse weather conditions and you fail to finish the course within the 5 hours at 3.3 miles an hour, your effort will be shown on the official results as a DNF, as a did not finish. Okay, now, excuse me, that seems a little bit harsh, but sadly on WebScorer it doesn't give us any other option. Okay, if we could have an option that says missed cutoff but finished, then I'd go for that every single time. But we don't have an option. It's either did not start or did not finish. So it will be shown as DNF, and the only time that you will receive is the one on your own personal Garmin. Okay. Like I said, this is a race. It's also a challenge, but it's a race. It's a challenge within a race, I suppose. So please bear that in mind. Now, this is quite fun. We've never done this before. But what we're going to do is, right, all participants are to make the halfway point. The halfway point is Thurn Mill. Thurn Mill is a really beautiful white wind pump, a windmill. It's on the right-hand side of the river, and it's the only white one on the entirety of the Norfolk Broads. It's the only white one. There isn't another white one, okay? So when you see that white one, you are halfway, all right? And you have got 2.5 hours from the last fleet leaving. So the last fleet leaving is the tandems and the sit-down craft. You've got 2.5 hours from them leaving to make Thurn Mill. So that's, again, generous, okay? Now, this is the fun bit. When you get to Thurn Mill, you'll either get one of two things. If you've made it in time and you're on schedule, you'll get a thumbs up, okay, from the marshals on the side. If you're running late, you're going to get a thumbs down, which means you better put that paddle in and start cracking on a little bit, okay? So, thumbs up, on target, you're going to make it within the cutoff. Thumbs down, it's a warning to say you better get a little bit quicker, all right? So, just a little bit of fun. If you see the thumbs down, if you see it like this, though, I mean, whoa, you know, what does that mean? They might just do it anyway, just to mess with you, but I doubt it. Okay, so that's kind of where we are on that one. Okay, I think it's an incredibly generous time. Everybody completed it last year, and you will get a warning as to how you're doing at that halfway point. Right. Okay, we're nearly done. We're nearly done. The course itself, everybody will have seen the course. Sorry, this is in black and white. You will get this race pack, okay? On the race pack itself, and also, is it on the website? No, it's not. On the race pack that you get will be a clickable link to download the route to your watch or whatever piece of tech that you use. However, it couldn't be any simpler. I know it sounds quite daunting, but the paddle Skedaddle has got 2 turns in it. It's got 2 left-hand turns. If you go right, you're proper screwed up. If you go left, you'll be fine, okay? It's a bit like Zoolander. Just go left, all right? Just go left the whole time, okay? So as you know, and we're talking an absolute T-junction as well. So if you get to an absolute T-junction, go left. You can't go wrong, okay? So I would like everybody, it's your own responsibility, please, to look at that map, to look at that download. Okay. Can everybody hear me all right now? I've come back. Yep, cool. I do apologize about that, guys. I don't know what happened. It locked up my computer and I had to do a whole restart thing. So my apologies. Right. You will get that video. I'll send that video to you as well on like a YouTube link or something like that. You'll get the GPX route that you can easily download into your watch, your Apple Watch, your Garmin, whatever it is. So you will be able to learn that course. But like I said before, it really is 2 left-hand turns. You will come all the way. You'll go through 2 bridges, okay, 2 low bridges. You do have to duck through those bridges. What I will say on those bridges is that you do not, as a paddler, have the right of way. Generally, what happens, the boats stop, and we do have marshals on both of those bridges, okay, because they're very narrow, and the boats come through one at a time, and they do all that kind of stuff. Generally, what seems to happen in the last few years is that the boat craft have actually stopped for the paddlers to go through. If you are asked to stop by a marshal, you must stop. Unfortunately, that is all part of the race. So if you've got a lead and you get stopped by a marshal because there's a boat coming through, you know, you will have to wait. Somebody will catch you up. Then, sadly, it's a case of you having to get away again. It's as simple as that. But we've not really had that over the last 3 years. It's been pretty spot on, and the boats do tend to wait. You'll go through 2 bridges. One bridge you'll carry on, left-hand turn onto the River Bure. Then you'll take a left-hand turn onto the River Thurn. You'll see Thurn Mill, the big white one on the right-hand side. Carry on, you'll come to yet another bridge, which is Potter Heigham Bridge, through that, all the way to the finish line. You'll see the finish line on your right-hand side. But if you remember, what did I say? It needs to be on your left-hand side because you actually go past the finish. It's just a little bit of a head kick that I do. You go past the finish, all the way for about 2 kilometers, just over 2 kilometers. You turn around a marker buoy and then you come all the way back and you then finish for reals. Okay, so we have actually had people in the past who've actually got all the way to the finish line and they've done like, 22 kilometers and they've only got another 4K to do and they can't do anymore. They're absolutely broken and they've got off the water. We've had to give them a DNF. So when you see that flag, you're nearly finished. Nearly. Okay, just nearly. Right. Okay, guys. That's kind of it. Everything is contained within the pack that I will email out to you, and I will now also email out, in addition, the little video of the course, so you can actually see it and get it into your head. So I'm now going to open up. I'm going to open up your microphones, if I can work out how to do it. Hold on a minute, Ali. Let me just see if I can do this. Cool. I think if everybody wants to open up their microphone now, they ought to be able to speak. So
hello.
Right, I can see. I'm just going to stick some. I'm just going to look at the queue here for hands up. So first hand up, I've got James Carter. James, did you want to open up your microphone and let me have a question?
Yep, sorry, forgive me, I'm a newbie to this and the Norfolk Broads. You mentioned keeping
Well, that
River
works.
right.
Can't hear a damn thing. So hang on a minute. You're not on mute.
Can you hear me now? I'm still talking.
Okay, James, just drop me a quick message in the chat if that's okay. Because I'll just answer Alistair as he's already got one in the chat. So yeah, let's all use the chat, guys, because it looks like I can't hear anything. Is one leash on a tandem acceptable, as two is a bit of a hazard? Absolutely, Alistair. One leash is absolutely fine, thank you. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Okay, that's absolutely fine. James Carter. Sorry, James, I'm just coming to you. River, okay, yeah, all right. So James has written, can I explain river right for the wide sections? And very good point. Thank you, James. There is only one really wide section, which is Barton Broad, and it's almost at the very beginning. When you enter Barton Broad, there is an entrance to the Broad and there is an exit, okay? It's quite a big Broad. The majority of it goes off on the right-hand side, but the navigation on Barton Broad is actually a bit of a free-for-all. So what I'd like you guys to do is take the shortest route possible, which is a straight line, okay? If you take a straight line between, so when you get onto the Broad, basically just keep paddling. There's a bunch of green posts on the left-hand side of the Broad. If you keep those well within view on the left-hand side, that will take you a straight line to the exit point, okay? Like I say, the majority of it is on the right-hand side, and you will have to paddle a very long way around to then come all the way back to the exit point. So the only time you do not do river right is when you're on Barton Broad. It's a straight line from the exit from the entrance to the Broad, and then line of sight. Absolutely. So thanks, James. Thanks for that. Good question. Cool. Anyone else? Got to be more questions. Got to be more, surely.
Hey, Martin, it's Alex. I've got my hand up. Can you hear me?
No? No more questions. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if there are no more questions, I'm going to leave you all to go and... oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. What we got? Yeah, I can't hear any mics at all. So, which is why I'm asking for you to put everything in a chat. Okay, great. Thank you. Friday registration time, Alexandra, is Friday is 6 p.m. until 9 p.m.
Yes,
We may extend that to around about 9:30, but if we can try and use the 6 till 9, that would be really good. So 6 till 9, Alexandra. Thank you. Yep. Tim Wilkins. So I need Paddle UK membership, correct? Two options, Tim, and quite right, I didn't cover the other one. I just made a presumption, and of course we know they are the mother of all screw-ups. So Paddle UK membership is very beneficial anyway, because it gives you the membership to paddle anywhere in the UK, almost. It gives you third-party liability, and it also gives you insurance for your kit. So if you're a solo paddler, it's about 45 quid for the year, and it's very, very beneficial. If you just wanted to paddle on the Broads for this one time, you can go to the Broads Authority. This was in an email that I've already sent, actually, so check back on your emails from me, from probably the very first one. And you can get a short visit toll from the Broads Authority, and I think that's around about 10 quid, and it covers you for a week, but it's not insurance. So, 45 quid for the year to paddle anywhere in the UK, Tim, I think is a real deal. So either Paddle UK for your membership, or go to the Broads Authority, short toll, and buy a toll for the duration. Tim Beaver, Tim, I haven't quite sorted those out yet, mate, but I will send everybody an email. Tim's asking, what time does the first bus leave? Sorry, dry throat. We haven't got any times on that just yet, but they will be in good time to get you up there for race briefing. If we have to make race briefing slide, it'll be no later than sort of 9 o'clock. So that will be based on the buses. I know one of the buses was a little bit late last time, so we will. There will be a little bit of leeway there. Also, the start. I must say, on the starts last time, there was a lot of people that didn't make their start time on time for whatever reason. We've got measures in place that we will not start the fleets until we've got everybody on their start line this year. So please do not worry about that. Okay, Alexandra, can we leave a kit bag? Yes, there will be vehicles coming back, so we will pop that in probably in the race director and the timekeeper's van, I would have thought. Yeah, we haven't got a whole bunch of space for kit. That's why we say to you, you get on the coach and you get pretty much paddle ready, but we can take some bags back to the start, make sure they're labeled and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, Tim, you haven't received any emails. I've sent probably around about 6, to be fair. So Tim, if you could email me with your email address, please, and I will make sure you get copies of all the emails that have been sent. Alexandra, will you get a start list of participants? Alex, you obviously haven't done your homework because it's been up there since the 1st of November. So if you just go on to the web scorer, and there is actually a participation. Yeah, you've just been told off. All right, you've just been told off. So yeah, it's already there. So if I don't hide stuff like that. No point. Don't care. There is a list there as well. So yes, you're only doing it for the t-shirt. But what if it's not your colour this year? Okay. Right. So yeah, Tim, just going back to you, please email me directly at team@supracing.co.uk. I've just sent that in the chat, and I'll make sure you get copies of everything. That's absolutely fine. Cool. Any further questions, guys? I'm so sorry I can't hear you. It's really bad. I don't know why I can't hear you, but everything's turned up my end, so I do apologize. But any further questions? Cool. I'm going to take that as a no. If you do have any other questions, please email to the email address I've put in the chat. Make it for my attention. I will pick that up. And I will answer any questions that you may have between now and the paddle skedaddle. So thank you very much, everyone. You have a fantastic... Oh, hang on, Tim. 1 point. Yes. Okay, go for it. Shoot. This is like to see how fast you can type, Tim. Okay, well, anybody else, if you need to go, you're absolutely fine to go. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your time. And I will see you on the day. Thank you very much, and good luck and hard training.